This is the Calorie Tracker OS by Group13 with Diego Moreno, Andrew Schreiber, Vanessa Taylor, Michael Rodriguez, Enzo Swain, and Felipe Araujo. What is the Calorie Tracker OS? The Calorie Tracker OS is a comprehensive health companion designed to streamline nutritional analysis. Users will be able to manage their weight and pay attention to their nutrition. The purpose will be to personalize insights. Real-time data will be provided to the user. They can monitor their macros, they can manage their weight, they can do many things with logs and change their settings and such. With the home and profile page, the user is able to create a profile for themselves, and this profile will be used to create calculations to provide health and diet suggestions based on the following statistics: age, gender, weight, height, and activity. With the dashboard, the user will be able to control some of the following things, such as the weight goal that they wish to attain, their current weight, the current calories that they've consumed, the calorie consumption limit that they've provided, and they can even go to edit their goals. And in the goals page, they are able to insert their weight goal, calorie goal, goals for their protein, fat, carbs, and sugar intake, and the number of days that they wish to continue their nutrition, and how many days they're active. With the calorie tracker, it is very easy to add your meals. You just have to click on when during the day you are having a meal, and you can add the food and add their calories, and the tracker will also check the websites for nutritional information, including the macros that you might need. This is a feature that is currently in development, and in the future will be provided. With the calorie tracker, you can track the macros for your health through the use of algorithms and data graphing. We are able to provide the user with infographics, charts that will display their current progress. The macros page will show details about what calories they've consumed and what comprises those calories, such as what percentage of their calories is carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, and where they should improve. In the settings page, they're able to change the theme, change the metrics, add notifications, and also find the support page.
Getting into the user task analysis part of the project, we do have a little recording here of kind of what it looks like for a user to be flipping through the actual app. We found that most people did not have a problem navigating it at all. As you can see, I'm literally just flipping through different screens in the recording itself. Obviously, we made the actual app, so it's a little bit easier for me, but even for somebody who hadn't navigated this at all, it was easy for him as well. And in this recording, we did actually just talk about the general usability and what he thought about it. And we did this with about 4 other participants as well. If we were to do another user test analysis, honestly, I would probably go for a little more variation within our age range. We were able to get from like 14 to 24, which is really, I mean, that's one generation of people, so it doesn't necessarily cover a wide range of users that we would see on this app. That being said, we did feel that the main demographic of this app was more than likely going to be people who actively go to the gym, and a lot of those people are younger. We did cover, as far as gender demographics go, 4 people who identify as male and 1 female. So we tried to pull some sort of diversity in there to make sure that we covered more than 1 gender in the very least, but it would have been a great trial to run a bigger sampling size for different demographics. That being said, most of the people who were tested typically only use their phones or computer for entertainment anyway, and this isn't an entertaining app, so it was interesting to see how they were able to navigate it still. Some people did have a little more difficulty than others, but they were usually the people who ranked as an intermediate person when it came to knowing computers and knowing what's behind them. The person in this recording specifically actually didn't have any problems whatsoever, and he only complained himself to be intermediate. He had literally no problems with any of the 10 different tasks, such as setting calories, setting weight, etc. And during the exit questionnaires of all of them, they did have quite a bit of commentary to say about it. One thing that we did notice was that people really appreciated the taskbar at the bottom. This is probably because of like learnability principle, where it is just super familiar and easy to learn because it looks like a lot of other apps. A lot of other apps are going to have a taskbar at the bottom. So there was a lot of compliments on the ease of access. Some people wanted like a guide or like something to be able to see everything all at once, which I totally understand. And one of the biggest complaints is going to be about the UI, where there's not enough color or variation in that, and how it's just not super distinct. So it's not as marketable as it should be, for sure. That being said, as far as the actual usability goes, there were very little problems with any of it. When it got to getting to the log area, that is when it kind of became harder for people. It wasn't impossible. There was no one who didn't find what they needed, but there were people who had a few different issues, and those were people who typically used it for like entertainment or school and maybe had slightly less years on them in computer experience, that is. Lastly, as we are looking at all of this data, we can kind of use this to make our app better, because within the 7 different exit questionnaire questions, every single person had a different thing to say for the most part. A lot of people wanted an actual meal planner in the app, and the meal planner would be great for a more advanced app that actually offers advice on how to change your diet to match your calorie goal. And in the future, this would be a great prospect for this app. However, we did get plenty and plenty of compliments on the actual usability of everything, the learnability of everything, and truly the only complaints were about the actual appearance of the UI. Had it been more colorful, had it been more appealing, I don't think that there would have been as many complaints, because the UI itself wasn't hard to navigate, but it just wasn't as marketable as it needed to be had we pitched this app to an actual company. And as you've kind of been watching this clip in the background, you can definitely see that there isn't really any sort of confusion on the participant's face. Um, every once in a while, he'll like look down and study the app, but it's not really something that is too confusing for too many people. And the actual prompted question, when we do ask what is confusing or maybe too vague about this, a lot of people just didn't really have anything to say, or that it was actually quite simple, maybe too simple.
Sample population. As you can see, the vast majority of our sample population are college students, with one high school student thrown in the mix. The following chart refers to the self-determined skill levels of the participants during the entrance questionnaire. As you can see, one person thought themselves as an expert, another is as experienced, and the rest thought of themselves as intermediate. Uh, just from seeing that nobody selected beginner, we can see that there might be a slight bias towards people being more comfortable with the app than they might otherwise be. The following is the gender distribution regarding our participants. The vast majority of them was male, but I don't believe this should have an effect on the data in any sense. This is just the age distribution. This is mostly straightforward, especially considering we already collected data regarding their education level. Everyone in college should be around 18 to 24, and the high school student would be around 14 to 17. our research results. As you can see from the following data, there were no parts of the test that had any major outliers in difficulty or in easiness. Every single participant rated virtually every single item they did roughly the same. So it's fair to say that the difficulty levels are consistent throughout. The following describes whether or not the app is easy to use. As of now, there do need to be some improvements. However, it is a promising prototype. Now, the following couple of slides are just going to be describing some of the feedback we received from participants. Some of the positives mostly described how it was easy to use and navigate, and there was a lack of clutter, with most of the text being readable. Most of the negative criticism, on the other hand, seems to be regarding the black and white design of the app itself, potentially hindering those with vision impairments and also making things harder to see. And another criticism described the lack of additional tools in the app itself. Thank you for your time.